In this video, we're going to take you through the great automated screening tips and tools that are built into the Safe Ministry Training Program. One of the things that the Safe Ministry Training Program does is allow you to auto screen the people who are doing ministry with you. And this works really well. So the way to set this up is to go to the settings drop down menu and click on auto screening options. Now all these auto screening options all have to do with the leaders training course. If you look at the different courses that are available, you have the board members course for the people on your board. You have an awareness course which is for everybody at church, making them aware of how to safeguard vulnerable people within the church community. And we have courses. We have a course for leaders these are the people who are doing ministry, engaging in ministry with vulnerable people. They're your kids leaders, they're your growth group leaders, they're your team leaders. These are the people who are doing ministry with you. And it's important to know that these people have been properly screened. That is, that they've been verified and checked, and we've got information about them to make sure these are safe and helpful people to have. And there's a whole bunch of ways that we can auto screen people for you to take the hassle out of it and to do it really well. And I'm just going to walk through some of those now. The first set of Elvanto syncing and automation is something that we're going to cover in another video. The first set of screening options that you can set up is self-disclosure screening options. Now these are things that your insurance company thinks is a valuable thing to ask people as they start serving on a team and in ministry. We want to ask people what their previous experience is in ministry and what role information, what are the details about the role they're going to be doing. And that's really helpful for you as a safe ministry coordinator to make sure the people who you've got have an idea of what they're doing. And it helps you flag whether someone might need a bit more support in a ministry role that they're doing. So you can ask them to do that. The other question that's very important that your insurance company definitely wants you to ask is to ask people if they've had any previous accusations against them. So what this does is it asks people if there's been an issue in their past. This is very important because it's all too often that we've found out people who shouldn't have been put in a leadership position within a church because of a previous event that happened. When someone asks them, how did you get here? Why didn't you tell us? They say, well, no one ever asked me about my history. And so this is why this question is important, to ask people if they've got any previous accusations against them. And so what that means is when people do the course, when they do the leaders training course, it's going to come in and it's going to ask them this question. Describe the role you expect to be doing at your church and any previous experience you've had. And then it's going to ask them this question. Have you ever engaged in or been the subject of an investigation for any of the following? Emotionally abusive behavior towards an adult or a child, neglectful behavior towards an adult or child, physically abusive behavior towards an adult or child, or sexually abusive behavior towards an adult or child. By asking this, it gives you the chance to make sure that people who are coming in, you know their history. This is an important question to ask. So they're the first two parts of screening that we can ask people as they do the leaders course. The next set of screening that we can ask for is their referees. It's very important that as people start serving in ministry teams, that we ask them to provide referee details. That is, two people who are going to be able to verify that they are safe to work with vulnerable people. And so as part of the training, we can say, yes, we want them to give their details. And this is one of the great things that we can do. We can automatically verify people's referees via email. That means that when they do the course, we ask them to provide a referee, someone from within their church. This should be a leader, one of their small group leaders or one of the pastors. They need to provide the details for one of the referees, and then they need to provide details for their second referee, someone from outside their church. They put in their name and their mobile number and their email address. And if we come back here, if you select that we can automatically verify them, then the Safe Ministry Training System will contact those referees. It will send them an email and say, do you know this person? Have you known them for more than 6 months? Do you have any concerns, and are you Are you happy? Would you recommend them for working with vulnerable people? It records their response in the system so you can know that the referee has been checked and the referee thinks this person is good to go. That's one of the great things that this system will do. So that's the referee screening options. Lastly, you can set up the working with children check screening options. Now this is going to be different depending on what state you're in. I'm looking at a screen which is set up for New South Wales churches at the moment, but if you change your state, then the options here will change slightly. The first thing is, do you want to ask people to provide their working with children check details? This might be a blue card number or a working with children check number or working with a vulnerable person number. What that does is give them the chance to put those details in as they do the training, and so they can be verified without having to copy and paste them around, that type of thing. What's great is, for most states, we can automatically verify people's working with children check status. And so if you're in New South Wales, then you can put in your church's working with children check username and password, and we will automatically log in and verify that person for you and record the result in the system. And so that means when they do the training, they're going to put in their role and experience, their personal disclosure, their referees, and there's the opportunity for them to put in their working with children check information. And so what it does is ask them, will they be working with children in their particular role at their church? And if they say yes, then it's going to ask them for their state working with children check information. And so if they're in another state, if your church is in another state, then these details will be specific to that state, but they put in their name and their surname, and they put in their working with children check number or their blue card number, depending on the state. And so we can record all this information as they start to do the training before they start serving. And so this is a great way, by setting these things up, it helps you as your church is screening and verifying people to make sure that they've had the screening and the checks in place. You can be confident that people who are serving with you in your church have been properly screened and checked and are cleared to work with vulnerable people and children. This does so much of the work for you, and we really hope it's going to help make churches safer as they are sure about the people who are serving with them with vulnerable people.